Ladies and gentlemen, schmoopies and ex-schmoopies, apropos our previous video, today is the day you have long been waiting for. I hereby declare the launching of the Big Fix. The Big Fix is the second part of this deck in which we go over each and every Office Romance boss problem we've covered and reverse engineer your way out of that specific predicament so that you can restore your eligibility for that promotion and or pay raise you so want, which took a serious hit once you embarked on your office romance. To understand how the Big Fix will work for you, we first need a bird's eye view of the entire deck to get some perspective by seeing the full picture. So here it is. In the first part of this deck, which includes all the videos up till now, we have A, proved why your office romance is not your private business but everybody's business at the office because it affects them. Check. B, we have canvassed the full spectrum of your team's dynamics and your boss's psychology to fully and accurately map all the 7+1 Office Romance boss problems that make you unpromotable and unpay-raisable while having an office romance with your coworker and even after it ends. Check. C, we have drilled down deep on each and every of those boss problems. Get it? I'm the boss problem buster. So we have drilled down deep on each and every of these boss problems to make sure you fully understand how they came to be and how your behavior as a couple perpetuates them. Check. And finally, D, we have pivoted from your point of view to your boss's point of view and teammates' point of view, which is intertwined with your boss's, as we've shown. Why? Because your boss's point of view is the only one that counts because he or she holds the key to your promotion and or pay raise, which is your end goal. So check on that as well. So we have come a long way, and hopefully you see now why we had to do it this way. First of all the boss problems and only then get to their fixes instead of problem fix. It takes time to do all those 4 things I've just mentioned and do them properly. And it needs to be done properly because your career is at stake. So I think we can safely say mission accomplished. And now that you have the full picture, let the Big Fix begin. TLDR, don't shit where you eat. But if you can't help it, and you won't be able to because biology, if you're attracted, you're attracted. If you're in love, you're in love, especially if both of you are single. So if you can't help it, at least use this sex and the workplace deck to make it less of a mess to everybody involved, you and Schmoopy first and foremost, thus salvaging your chances for getting that promotion and or pay raise you so want, and while you're at it, maybe even save the relationship itself. Hi, I'm the Boss Problem Buster, founder of the Pay Raise Commando, a senior organizational consultant of 24 years, having worked across cultures, industries, and ranks with 7,250 employees trained between us, my team and I. I'm also a social psychologist with a master's and a bachelor's degrees, both with honors. My team and I train passed over corporate professionals like you to get that pay raise and promotion you are overdue for so that you can finally kill your Monday blues before you sink any further and bring your inner joy back, which is the best part of my job and the goal of this channel. Kill your Monday blues and bring your inner joy back. So if you'd like to get a promotion with a pay raise or a pay raise independent of a promotion and kill your Monday blues and bring your inner joy back, subscribe, give this video a thumbs up, and hit the notification bell so that we can meet again. Plus, If you'd like the full transcript of this video and all the videos on this channel, see the link in the description. It's on our website, bossproblembuster.com, because it's too long to paste here, so not a trick to get you there, but if you do hop over, you'll find many practical reads and a forum where you can discreetly and anonymously ask us anything in regarding to landing that promotion and pay raise, to which we reply very quickly. Now, back to the salt mines. Hey Busters, welcome back. You may be surprised to know that actually we have already given you all the fixes you need as we went along. We just didn't call them that. This whole meticulous process has sprinkled breadcrumbs all along the way to create a trail, a compass you can follow to find your way out of the woods. Because if you know what dug you into the hole, and now you do, you can dig yourself out of the hole. It's all about reverse engineering your way out of it if you're already in the hole, and engineering your way away from it if you're planning ahead and wish to avoid it. But if we've already given you everything you need to know so that you can just do a 180 and follow this Hansel and Gretel breadcrumb trail we have laid on your own, using it as a compass to lead you back to eligibility, why then are we devoting this entire second half of the deck to doing it together? Isn't it superfluous? No, it isn't. I have promised you to do it together, a promise I'm keeping today, because of two reasons. A, it is not always as straightforward as just do a 180 or just do the opposite, like George Costanza. Well, it is in principle, so you do indeed know the essence of what you need to do, but we can serve you even better, which is what we're constantly striving for, hence this elaborate deck. So we can serve you even better by actually doing the full scale of reverse engineering needed together on the basis of that essence you already know, so that we can add to it substantially and make it as practical and pragmatic as possible by giving you the exact steps to take. And B, even then, there are still more principles and steps you should know about and consider that go beyond what you could reverse engineer yourself. This is why we do this big fix together. So let's get right to it. We'll launch the big fix with, surprisingly, the last boss problem, the bonus one. Not because the last one is potentially freshest in your mind, but because the fixes we offer you there should be your starting point to all the other fixes. And you should start implementing them the moment you realize the coworker you're attracted to, or even falling in love with, is indeed attracted to you back. Thus, an office romance may be in the cards. That bonus office romance boss problem number 8 was, what happens when it ends? We have seen how even when it ends, your eligibility for that promotion and or pay raise is still very much at risk, and why one of you may even have to leave. Watch here if you'd like a reminder. The fixes here consist of 3 steps you should do or at least consider. 1. Tread very mildly. Approach one another, romantically speaking, very slowly. The prices both of you are going to pay are potentially so high, with your careers at stake, as we have shown, that you need to be sure the benefits of the office romance are worth it. The benefits pun, originally unintended, but on second thought, very much intended. Please note, this is not a moral consideration, but a pragmatic one. It is none of my business what 2 consenting adults do. It is my expertise, however, to show you the ramifications of what you do on your pay raise and promotions. So I will just lay it all before you and you make your own choices. The second fix to the bonus number 8, what happens when it ends or if it ends, is be honest with yourself. Is it lust or love? They are very easily conflated, especially at the beginning, potentially more so by women than men. And it's tricky because how would you know if you don't act on it? So, putting on my Dear Abby hat again, here are a few pointers and cues for both men and women to help you sort your feelings out and distinguish between the two. Are you fantasizing about your coworker only in terms of hooking up with them? Or are you also fantasizing about spending time with them, doing whatever, you don't even care as long as you get to spend time with them? Are you only attracted to the physical features in your coworker? Or are you also attracted to the way they think, their sense of humor, the way they carry themselves around the office, and the way they socialize, all of which reveal aspects of their inner world and personality? Are you interested and curious to find out what they think of certain things? Would you love to consult with them before making even mundane decisions? Do you want to know about their family, their friends, their childhood, their likes and dislikes in movies and food and pastime? The more you choose the latter in each of these considerations, the more the chance it is love and not just lust. In that case, you probably wouldn't want to give up on a chance for true love without even trying. So I bid you all the very best, and all I advise you is to double and triple watch this entire deck to make sure you're doing everything right, preferably together with Schmoopy once you're close and open enough with one another. You can also read it if you prefer that format. A link to the full transcript is in the description below. Please note that this exercise requires deep introspection and some time, reinforcing the first fix about the need to take everything very slowly. Okay, now we get to a controversial fix. Fix number 3 is going to sound surreal, but hear me out. Remember, I'm geared only in your favor. I have nothing to gain by you doing this or not doing this. So here it is. Number 3, sign a prenup. Relax. You don't literally have to sign it. Secondly, I'm not talking about a legal document. Thirdly, you're not getting married as of yet, so obviously it is not a literal prenuptial. It is just a term we all know, so I'm using it to help you instantaneously get the gist of it. Hence on, let's call it a POR, a pre-office romance agreement. Fourthly, it doesn't even have to be an agreement per se, as long as it is a discussion, and open and periodically revisited discussion between you two. When should you implement it? The moment your relationship becomes serious. Now, what does such a POR, pre-office romance agreement / discussion, consists of? Anything and everything that might arise between you two. And don't worry, it doesn't all have to be upfront. It is a dynamic thing. You can add to it, detract from it, redact it, so change it as you go along and as circumstances at the office, as well as in your relationship, evolve or change. So the POR I'm proposing consists of whatever you want it to. However, assuming you are both driven professionals, there are 3 initial issues that are not optional, so you must address them. 1, who would leave if it came to it? 2, who would apply for a promotion or make the boss aware that they are seeking one? Since you cannot both get it, we have discussed this in depth here, if you'd like a reminder. So who would apply should the opportunity arise? And it will arise sooner or later, so the longer your office romance goes on for, the more probable this is an issue you will encounter. The third initial issue you must address in your POR, pre-office romance agreement/discussion, is what happens if one of you gets a pay raise higher than the other one? How would this affect your relationship with each other and with your boss? Here are some considerations to help you navigate all these intricate matters. For example, a consideration you could discuss and agree on to help you navigate the first awkward issue I mentioned before, which was whom would have to leave if it came to it. Well, such a consideration could be seniority at the company as a whole, or specifically at the current position. You can decide whatever you want on how this consideration plays out. For example, the more senior one would stay, or maybe the more senior one would leave because maybe they have a better chance of finding another job elsewhere. So the key to creating your own POR, completely custom made by you two for you two, is think of the issues that might arise at the intersection of your career ambitions and your relationship, and then think of considerations to help you come up with a potential solution to that potential issue that seems reasonable to you too. Hey, I didn't say it was easy, I said it was smart. The whole point is to have an open discussion about those very likely realities while the relationship is going well, because it is only during these times that you can actually come up with fair and reasonable solutions to these intricate and awkward issues. Once everything goes sour between schmoopies of any relationship, not just yours, it gets to be about revenge or screwing up the other party, which is why this whole POR agreement/discussion I'm suggesting, made in the honeymoon phase of your relationship, is really not as surreal as you might have originally thought. And I know it's a bit out there, but I'm putting the rationale before you. Remember, the whole point of this deck, of this entire Pay Raise Commando channel, is to tell you things nobody else will, ever. Think of it like buying insurance. Nobody wants to think about the possibility of their apartment being burglarized or their car catching up on fire. There are so many horrible things that can happen in life, but you still are forced to think about them at least once a year when you sign up on a new policy. And of course, like insurance, like POR, it doesn't always pay. When push comes to shove, you might find out what you thought was covered actually is not. But you still take out an insurance policy because it will hopefully cover at least some of the potential unpleasant realities. So you figure it's better than nothing. Same here with the POR. Here is another example. This one is for a consideration you could discuss and agree on to help you navigate the second awkward issue I mentioned before, which was whom gets to apply for a promotion when the opportunity arises, assuming you are both ambitious. So, for example, a consideration here could be how central this current position you're holding and the coveted next position are for either of you. Maybe for one of you, this is a dream job at a dream company, and maybe for the other, it is not. Maybe they're not even sure if they want to continue in this field, in this industry. In such a case, the one whose dream it is should get priority. It just makes sense. Of course, such clear difference in career aspirations makes things simple. But what if it's a dream job for both of you? If this is the case with you guys, it's a conundrum with no good way out. This is exactly what the bonus number 8 Office Romance Boss Problem was all about. how and why your lover could become your competitor. Check it out here if you'd like a reminder. And here is another example, the last one for today. This one is of a consideration you could discuss and agree on to help you navigate that same second issue regarding whom gets to apply for a promotion when the opportunity arises, since you cannot both have it and you probably wouldn't want to compete with one another, at least not so overtly. So here, another consideration could be whom is the favorite for that promotion. For example, the one who has the odds on his or her side gets the priority over the other in applying. Favorite would be the one of you with the most skills and training and education required for that next position, and the acknowledgement of the boss of these capabilities, and so forth. Use this framework to build your own POA, pre-Office Romance agreement. Mix and match it as need be. To be frank though, I sadly do not really expect you to do so. Why? 5 reasons. 1. It is a novel, unorthodox idea. There are very few people willing to break the mold. And honestly, those who are usually not employees, but rather self-employed entrepreneurs. 2. It is not romantic, to say the least, and you are in the midst of the most romantic phase your relationship would ever be in. It is not called the honeymoon phase for nothing. 3. It is intimidating for a new couple such as yourselves because it brings to the forefront everything that could go wrong between you two. Therefore, you naturally don't want to think or talk about it. 4. You think this couldn't possibly happen to you. If and when you, heaven forbid, ever break up, it couldn't possibly get that nasty that would necessitate a POR that was signed, literally or figuratively as you choose, when you were still very much in love, because your love is different. You would always want nothing but the best for Shmoopy, even once you're not together anymore. Every couple in love, whomever walked the earth, thought and thinks the same. And finally, 5, there is no legal or proprietorial incentive of property. You have no communal assets that could be valued monetarily as ready as in a prenup. What would you put in instead? The potential monetary benefit of a potential promotion and a potential pay raise? You could, but they are not as tangible relative to a deed for a house, for example. But that gets to be too academic, and I'm all about everything pragmatic, as you know by now. So there's no need to go as far as that with your POR. However, do not use this last reason or any of the other 5 to overrule a POR altogether. One day you might regret it. So sleep on it. Okay, that's it for today. As you can tell, we are doing the big fix as in depth and as meticulously as we did the mapping and analyzing of all the 7+1 Office Romance boss problems. Join me next time when the big fix marches on. And if you appreciate this massive work and would like to see more, you know the drill, but I'll say it anyway. Subscribe, give this video a thumbs up, and hit the notification bell so that we can meet again. And until then, go back to work. You know I can't help you get that promotion and pay raise if you don't actually do the job.